So this is an AI platform that will recover debts for people by taking it to small claims courts, doing all the manual work and things like that autonomously for you and on your behalf. So recover debts easily, quickly, and affordably. Garfield is the only AI that enables you to recover invoices of up to 10K through the English small claims court. And there's a few steps on the website, but essentially it does everything. So simply drop an invoice to get started. Garfield will read through the invoices and contracts to extract the relevant information about the claim. Most of the time, you won't need to do anything else. So it's like ChatGPT for small claims. And I just think this is a funky thing, you think about all the sort of parking fines and the council tax overruns and all that sort of stuff that I'm sure comes through all of our letterboxes every now and then. Imagine they could just suddenly click an AI button and then it's just this. Then you're just gonna have to send your AI and go like fucking Pokemon, just send your Pikachu at theirs and just have them battle it out and see and move to mediation.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell you've had some students in your living room for a week.
Yeah, mate. Got fucking Looney Tunes in there. When you think about that dynamic, it may save the court's time, which is a net benefit. But it will be interesting because it's not going to be humans going to mediation. It's going to be two AIs battling it out. I'm in a little bit of a legal case at the moment, and essentially it's AI leveraging most of the information and streamlining everything. I've been in quite a big court case before, or legal case before, back when exiting the band. And I remember having to go back through just years of correspondence and putting a chronology together and all this kind of stuff and making sure that our case was sorted. And it took me months to do it. And I had to do a sort of similar thing recently, but I did it in a couple of hours. And then I got the AI to just like pull everything through into like a chronological timeline with key milestones of where things were said and stuff like that. And you can see quickly how this is going to go. It's going to be AIs battling it out and then recommending mediation and settlements, which is interesting. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like that should remain human, or do you think AI just doing the work for you and then spitting out, yeah, give them 5K, mate. Your legal grounds is best to give them 5K compared to say XYZ on legal costs and then the likelihood of winning in court, etc. Is that a net positive to society that it could be settled quicker, not wasting court time, or is it sketchy?
The last 5% has to be reviewed by, probably someone in legals that can sort of go, yeah, it kind of does make sense. I mean, I think it's good. Obviously, shock horror, it's privatized on this side rather than being on the legal side that have invested some time in improving their efficiencies. I mean, it's always the way, isn't it? But I mean, if it helps people pull cases together, the problem with small claims is typically the claim is not worth the legal costs. So there's then that barrier for entry to go, this company owes us 8.5 grand from an invoice. They're not paying up. They're still trading. What do you do? In that particular instance, if you get a lawyer involved who are £300 an hour, it doesn't take long until that 7.5, 8 grand bill is dead anyway. So I think it's a good example of what could be achieved with AI to resolve lower value, heavy admin items that, a lot of we talked about it before, the paralegals are probably the people that should be worrying the most because a lot of their draft reading and work that they do, a bot can do it actually a lot quicker and actually carry more knowledge off the bat.
Our solicitors that met with this week, they were like straight away we got into the thick of it, and they're bringing in all new software systems, and they're basically trying to do what they can to prevent having to hire more staff. And the way they're seeing growth is in leveraging more tech to just keep increasing their existing staff's output rather than bringing on new hires, which is typically for them is bums on seats. It's paralegals with trainee staff with all their qualified guys, and now instead they're just trying to leverage their qualified guys and their training protocols with AI and technology. So you can just see what's going to happen to that market. It's going to get decimated for postgraduates trying to find jobs. It's just
I think that should be in any business, if I'm honest. I think we do in XP, we every quarter we do something called a masterclass where on a Friday afternoon we do one topic that someone in the business runs, and it's something that we think the company would find useful to learn about. So that might be a tech that can sit over anything. The first one that we launched, I did ChatGPT, and I went through every member of the team and I talked them through how they could use it as an example case to save themselves time. That took us an hour and a half of my time, an hour and a half of them learning, but you'd hope that they would then save 10 minutes a day, which is obviously then improving your staff output massively across the board. So I think every company should have training on how they can use AI just at every day to day. For example, our project managers now have Otter AI to take meeting minutes during site the weekly site meetings for our bigger sites. That alone saves them typing it up, and that's another example. So I think that's got to be in every company, but where we're specifically talking about this niche is legals, and it's better than human in this instance, in my opinion, to be for a paralegal to go through a load of documents then report to a legal person. I think is less efficient than a bot doing it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Every business looks, its primary objective is to save costs. If you can't increase your sales output, then you need to save costs to make a margin. And I think that AI is giving every business the opportunity to look into every corner of their business, cornerstone, and look at how to save money. And effectively, staff is one of the biggest costs of any business. And it just the guy I was with yesterday, my steel guy, good friend of mine as well. And we learned to fly together, but he's set up an AI bot, and he's gone into business with 3 other people, where he's already got a company called Rye Beaumont, which allows people to go onto one website. It's their marketing channel where they can put in the size of stills they want and the location, and it will send that order out to another steel company on the network, who wants to take the order, and he'll take a small margin and give them the lead. And the best thing about it is it does all the ordering. The longest part of his business is putting a bum on a seat to scale and work out what stills are needed and put a bit of a bill of quants together. So he's built this Buyer Beam, and it's really good, and it's a few years old now, and it's increased his sales revenue by about 60%. So now what he's done is he's used the profits from that, and he's taken that into the AI world. And now he's building his own AI that allows you to quantify off of a full set of structural characters. So a full set of working drawings you can upload as an engineer or as a company. It will then whip all the steel sizes, all the lengths, all of the connection details, all of the bolts you need, and put a full list together. So it's basically doing the quantity surveying job of the steels that he can then put into Biobeam and then send it on to a steel company. Because he was, until this point, he was manually running a steel company, doing the work, trying to manage a team of 6, then a team of 10, then a team of 12, and then back down to 6 because the middle management's a pain. So I think if you took his business, it's putting, and it's commodities business, right? You've got the cost of steel, the cost of cutting it, and the cost of delivery. That there's nothing you can really move. And other companies he's up against that sell, like the loft suppliers that sell us, they sell one part of the steels, but to sort of swallow the monopoly, they're doing things at £1,600 a ton, where all the competitors are doing 18, 19, 2,000 a ton, which is the median rate is about 2,000 a ton. So what he's doing is it's basically doing the Chinese market. It's putting all these other businesses out of all these sort of smaller companies out of business. So by trying to provide this AI and trying to lower the operating costs, the numbers of running that business is even easier. It's the cost of steel, the cost of cutting and delivery and logistics, and you make your margin. So I think just taking his business, everyone is looking at AI. I'm trying to go out to the Philippines now to try and take another 50 grand a year salary and try and spend 18 grand a year. Yeah, it's not going to do UK PLC that good because it's another person I'd employ. But if they stop putting the tax rates up on employing people, I'd have a different opinion on it. But my back's against the wall. I can't sell things for any more money. I have to try and look at ways of saving money. And I think AI is just giving every business around the country or around the globe, effectively, a new set of lenses to look through.
Touched on there is partly where the Conservative led into the Labour government is fucking the UK economy, because you basically said I've just said with AI I'm trying to reduce the amount of labour required by my team because I'm relying on tech, which is technically probably an American tech company, a Chinese tech company, or whatever it may be. My revenue's going there instead, and it's like 30 quid a month rather than paying a family in the UK that pay tax and eat eggs down the shop and spend money in local school fetes and things like that. And you're saying you're actually going to the Philippines with VAs, which was always kind of a thing, but we're having to do it more now because of the cost of employing staff. And the problem is all this money is just constantly leaving the UK, as well as all the people that have just gone, fuck this, I have a choice to leave the UK. So they're leaving the UK. So the larger problem is we're talking about all these good tech hacks, but essentially it's pulling revenue from the UK economy.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you go and subscribe to the Ground Up Podcast.